our precious land, what kind of most precious things and services we can take from the forest and from the field. And also, for example, what is in between of all this, like something like agroforestry is one example of mixing sectors. Like we speak about circular economics, it's about collaboration and combining the different forces, like Jussi also mentioned. And as an example from the field sector, we have there in the corner, we have, I have to check what was the name in English, caraway and quinoa and also indigo. Yeah, so please.
So we hope you see new inspiring products and meet new people to work with in circular economy, and this is very, very important field in circular economy, and it was great to have this side event in this World Circular Economy Forum which just ended. So have a nice evening everyone, and please come to talk to us also if you want to hear more about Sitra's work in the circular economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Riitta and Hanna.
And this really is a unique opportunity to meet company representatives here tonight. So harness that opportunity, and after we've finished our panel discussion, make sure that you talk to each company who've been developing these marvelous products. That will be the future, I'm sure of that. Are you ready for Pecha Kucha presentations?
Absolutely.
Fantastic, great. Are you familiar with the Pecha Kucha style? Yeah? So basically the idea is that there will be 20 pictures and 20 seconds for each picture. So we will get to hear presentations from Sulapa, Baptic and Elastopoli, 3 companies in Pecha Kucha style. So let's see how it goes. And first I would like to invite Heidi Koljonen of Sulapak on stage, and we'll get your presentation here. So please, welcome Heidi.
Okay, thank you for coming, and now that you've heard this Pecha Kucha style, I'm the first one to break that rule, so I don't actually have that style of presentation, but next time I promise I'll do that. So,
You remember that?
yes, I'll hold my promise. So my name is Heidi Koljonen, I'm from the company Sulapak, and I will give you a brief overview of us as a company, what we do, why we do it, and then also briefing on this, what have we been doing in this Sitra project, and yeah, a little bit details about that. So, we all know that the plastic waste problem needs new solutions. This is not probably a new picture to anyone, and we know that if we continue the way we do at the moment, by the 2050 there will be more plastic in our oceans than fish. So something needs to change, and our mission at Sulapak is to save the world from plastic waste. This is something that we strive to accomplish. Here are the 2 lovely founders of the company, Suvi Haimi and Laura Kyllönen. They're both researchers from their background, chemists and researchers on biomaterials. And they thought that with their unique experience and know-how, there's something that they could do to create a new, more sustainable raw material as an alternative. So they created Sulapa, #1 sustainable material replacing plastic. It has a very unique characteristics and properties, the fast biodegradation speed, and also it doesn't contain any microplastics. We're using sustainable and recyclable raw materials. And then also the properties are very important for us, so that we are finding the best combination then to suit the needs of the consumer and the brands, of course. And we are very happy that we've received a lot of international recognition also for the innovation. And before you manage to ask, I will tell you that Sulapak is made of wood and natural binders. So that's the secret recipe that we have. Design has been very important for us, so we've used a lot of time on that to create something very beautiful and unique that represents the Nordic nature in everything, in the design of the packaging that has the lovely wood chips that you can see, and then also the colors that are inspired by the Nordic nature as well. And I mentioned one of the unique characteristics is the biodegradation, that it is extremely fast, and we actually received our first certificate for the industrial composting. So in 21 days, this is what you can see, and then in 3 months, it's gone. You don't find it anymore. And this is something very unique for our material. But then, of course, it gives benefits, and then also some limitations for the use. So here is a small table on what kind of products are the perfect fit for Sulapak material. Of course, single-use and consumer goods that don't have tens of years of use life, because then you want something that does not disappear. And the second part of the innovation is not only the material that was created, but then also the production technology, so that this is something that existing plastic manufacturers can actually use in their existing machine, existing tooling, and then replace the material that they're using with Sulapak. So that has been one very important point that we've been focusing on in the development of this innovation. And this, of course, gives us the possibilities that we can actually supply Sulapak material as a license beyond packaging, beyond basically anything that is currently manufactured out of plastic could be manufactured out of Sulapak as well. And this is, of course, our goal. And here you can see some of the products that we already have tested. Some are ideas, some are possibilities, and something that we are also developing. So a lot of possibilities. And this is one exciting as well. You can see some examples there on the table. So ocean-friendly straw, and this is something that is coming very soon. So we are finalizing the materials. And then briefly on this project, what did we do with the Citra project? We've been very happy to be a part of this and have an excellent network of partners in this project. And of course, our extremely lovely customer, Lumen, who's been working together with us in a pilot project that we are creating a completely new style of cosmetic packaging for their creams and lotions, so suiting their needs. This is something that we developed from the beginning, starting from the design, going through all the requirements and all that, and then combining also the intelligent packaging and different aspects of understanding the material and the environmental aspects and the end use as well. So here I mentioned the project partners that we have working together with us, Lunge, Syke, Etika, and Stora Enso Starke. So all of them are part of this same pilot project. We've been looking into the LCA calculations to understand the effect and what can we do in a raw material. And then also Syke has been studying the end-of-life scenarios, what are possibilities for our type of materials. Etika has been helping with the circular economy narrative, how then to communicate this to the consumers, to tell the difference and how to understand this new material and new product. And then Stora Enso and Starke, they've been working together with us then on the intelligent packaging side. So how to combine with the NFC, then Cure Gold, then to the possibility the consumer to learn more and have more information about the product, to bring that all together. Yes, and this is our heritage. Why do we do this? We want to live a better world than for our children.
Well done. Even without timing, I think you managed to do it very well.
I hope I didn't
Yeah.
speak too quickly.
Any questions, thoughts, comments? From Heidi? Yes.
You said you were piloting the LCA measurement.
Yes.
Lisa Bovilan from Impact Asset Management. I wanted to ask about the LCA analysis that you have done. What is that indicating, and how is Sulapac's pilot project faring versus standard plastic material?
Well, we have actually done some calculations comparing different materials, but then also in this project we've gone very deep in understanding then also our raw material and the characteristics of that. So that gives us, mainly the goal was to get insight also to understand all the steps in our process and then to use that as a tool for improvement. So we have these two aspects that we have. We have some figures on our website already available on comparisons to give a rough kind of comparisons to general materials. And this is something that we are also developing further still. So, yes.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Olivia from Climate Kick. So, yeah, I think it looks great. It's very impressive, and I particularly like that you can use it in the existing production equipment. So it's great. Do you have any information that you're able to share on the cost, how it compares to plastic?
Well, of course, always new innovations are more expensive in the beginning. That's just the way it is. But what we want to do is to bring it in the mass production, and also then to be able to really offer an alternative. So the pricing has to be also lower, and that will also then be the volume that will help us in that. So currently we are more expensive, but in the long run we want to bring this as closer as possible so that we can really conquer the world.
Okay, we have time for one more question.
Hello, my name is Ida Miettinen. I'm from Kamupak, and thank you for your nice presentation. I love what Sulapaq is doing. I noticed on one of your slides that it looked like your long-term product development is aiming towards more durable products, such as the surfboard helmet.
No,
What does that mean?
no, that was that slide is meant to show the kind of main usages. So the surfboard and the helmets, that's something that we have ruled out. That's not the ideal use of our raw material. Everything else is. But if you're planning on doing something that you want to last for generations, then of course biodegradable material is not the optimal solution. And surfboard obviously.
Yeah, thank you.
For logical reasons.
Okay, thank you so much, Heidi. Thanks. And then our next picture speaker is... Yes.
You may introduce me if you wish.
He is, this gentleman next to me is Esa Torniainen of Optic. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, I try to give this presentation in Petsakucha mode. This came as a surprise for me. I misunderstood. I thought that this book is supposed to be given in Machu Picchu mode. So I bought my pan flute and funny hat, but you can see them then after the presentation. That's not the first slide. Please. Okay. My presentation will last for 6 minutes, and during that time there will be more than 100 tons of plastic waste entering into the oceans. That's enough to cover 6 square kilometers of ocean with plastic film. This is something that we all should be ashamed of as members of the human race. This is a challenge that we need to tackle together, and we need to use all the means we have in our position to tackle the problem. Already today, the huge plastic islands in the oceans are approximately the size of the state of Texas. Some say that they are bigger than the United States. Even if they were the size of Ahvenanmaa or Åland, it would be shameful, but now we are in the state where the problem has already got all too big. You all have heard that soon there will be more plastic than fish in the oceans if we don't do anything to the matter. And eventually the plastic will end up into the human food chain, and we don't know what that will bring. There is a lot of research going on in that field. You can find microplastics everywhere, and some people are not afraid of that, but more afraid that there is microplastics found in beer cans. Jussi, I'm not necessarily talking about you. So the last generation, they filled the atmosphere with CO2, and we know how difficult it is to tackle that problem now that the landscape has already happened. This generation should not be remembered as the generation that filled the oceans with plastic waste. Plastic is a very versatile material, it's cheap material, and you can find plastics like everywhere. And the problem is that 10% of all the plastics produced end up in the wrong place, and that is what makes it a very, very problematic material. And when you have a leak on the roof, then you need to react on that, and to develop new kinds of buckets is not the right way to do it. But you need to do something with the leak, you need to fix it, and the way to fix it is to start using more cellulose-based materials that are renewable, and that enable us to produce materials that are also recyclable and reusable. And that is what we as PAPTIC have been doing the last years. If you have to choose between oil-based plastics and cellulose-based materials, I think the decision is very easy. As Yoda would say, the decision is not too difficult to do. And that's what we at PAPTIC have been doing since 2015. PAPTIC Limited was founded 4 years ago to develop and bring to the market a novel type of packaging material, a wood-based material that can be used to replace plastics. We started in 2013. We are a spin-off company from PPT. In 2015, we started piloting our technology and brought the product to the market. Last year, we started the industrial production of our materials in collaboration with our partner, the specialty paper producer. And next year, we will start our own production facility with a capacity of 30 to 40,000 tons a year of PAPTIC material. And after that, then we will continue either building our next mill or licensing the technology also. PAPTIC is a very versatile material. You can convert it like paper and like plastics, but you can also convert it by stitching, which opens up a multitude of other product opportunities. The main raw material of ours is wood pulp or wood, and we want to use wood in a way that the nature has, in a way, developed it. Wood fiber is a very strong material, it is recyclable material, and it is warm to touch. And these are all important things when you think about packaging materials. And now I wonder what is the next slide. Okay, so why wasn't this done before? How come there aren't that kind of materials brought to the market before? The thing is that the traditional paper-making technology doesn't enable us to use such a huge variety of different types of raw materials like our technology, the foam forming enables. Foam forming enables us to use, for example, long man-made fibers in the mixture, and that way we can bring totally new kind of product features to the material. That is why we call PAPTIC the next generation of paper. Carrier bags that can be reused, and people are willing to reuse them because of the fact that you can fold them into a very small volume. Then e-commerce mailers that can be used to replace corrugated board boxes, which are sustainable, yes, as material, but logistically they are not that good because you ship a lot of air instead of the actual products. Like said, it can also be converted by stitching and heat sealing, which opens up a big group of totally new kind of product applications that paper has not been able to serve before. So what we did in the project funded by Sitra was that we wanted to see whether we could increase the number of times people would reuse plastic bags. And we wanted to do it in a way that we wouldn't increase the price of the bag, because price is always important in this business. And as you can see, I didn't make the slides myself. What we did was that we went and asked the consumers how they would like to use bags or how they use bags today. And the consumers have different types of needs for bags. Of course, as you know, as consumers yourself, you use bags for different purposes. But of course, it's quite evident that there are certain things that are common for all users. The material has to be strong, and it has to be foldable, and it has to be, if not water resistant, but tolerate some amount of water. What we did was that we took this information to our product development team and started to wonder that how do we make plastic even stronger? And the answer was very easy. We increased the amount of wood in our product. The wood material is now over 90% of our recipe. So it's possible to do totally new kinds of things if there is a will, but there is always the but. When you talk about these big issues even with experts, you always hear that okay, we should use renewable energy, but we should use less plastics, but there is always the but, and we need to overcome that. When you talk about these things with kids, you don't hear the word but, because kids think, they take things as they are. If something is bad, then let's stop using it. This is a picture from a project that was done in Kerala here in Finland, where first and 2th grade school kids had a sustainability project, and part of that project was to think about possible substitutes for plastics and whether plastics is a good thing or a bad thing. And for those kids, it was very easy to make the decision between plastic and plastics. And if you don't guess, they chose plastic.
Thank you, fantastic. Any questions, thoughts, quick comments? Yes.
Hello, congratulations to the prize. It seems to be very nice. I'm Mauricio Hager from Brazil. I'm interested to know which are your main markets and something related to financials. What is the percentage of a regular bag? Or do you also need a feature, like environmental feature, to sell it?
Okay, let's start from the market. We are a Finnish company, so it's quite easy to guess that the main market for us is Europe. Not so much Finland, because Finland is a small nation as such. But if you think about the applications that I mentioned, for example, product packaging, in Europe we don't produce that much goods that are packed. All that production has moved to Far East already like 20 years ago. So that is, let's say, the second wave of plastic marketing will take place there. And someday we need to have also production capacity in those countries. About the price, that was the second relation. Okay. Well, like was already said in the previous presentation, the new things are never cheaper than the existing ones, and plastic is no exception to that rule. The problem is that when you compare anything to plastics, anything is always very, very expensive, because plastics is so bloody cheap, and also a very, let's say, material efficient or resource efficient material. But now the situation is such that big brands and retailers, they are willing to shift from plastics to something else, and now they are willing to take the higher price or to accept the higher price. But this is not an answer to your question, is it? So,
Not really.
yeah.
And
So,
related to simple paper, because there's a lot of paper bags
bags.
Okay.
US, for example, US, a lot of cities, they are obligated to give paper bags.
Well, if you compare the price of plastic to craft paper, plastic is roughly 2.5 times more expensive. But the thing is that when you shift from craft paper to plastic, you can go down in grammage. So you get more bags out of a ton of plastic than you would get from a ton of craft paper. But still we are, let's say the price of the bag, maybe a plastic bag is 30-40% more expensive than craft bag. But paper bags you don't use more than only once.
Any other questions? Yes?
Thank you for a really good presentation. My name is Johanna Aleto. Could you tell us more about the origin of the wood raw material? Is it coming from Finland or somewhere else? And how is it grown? Is it sustainable?
Okay, let's start from the last question. Yes, all the raw materials that we use, we are very careful to check that everything is coming from sustainably sourced forests. And the production that we have had here in Finland, we have a pilot plant in Otaniemi, the biggest paper machine in Helsinki region. Yes, you see, it's also the only one. There the pulp has always come from the Äänekoski mill. The fact is that one of the founders of Practic, our CEO, Mr. Tuomas Mustonen, is originally from Äänekoski, so we have never had a chance to use anything else. And at the moment, when we are producing the Practic material in our partner's machine, there we use a mix of pulps from different sources, but we supply Practic as an FSC certified product. Was there another question?
I think
No.
Thank you, Esa. How are you doing? Standing on your 2 feet. Do you need to stretch a bit? Circle around. Meanwhile, you're circling around, I will invite the next and the last picture speaker, Markku Mikkilä of Elastopoli. Welcome.
Are we online? Well, everybody seems to have some excuses for their Petsakucha style presentations. I don't have a timer on, so I will just utilize my infamous Petsakucha finger to go on. Elastopoli is a small but feisty development company from Sastamala, Finland. We have gone from being a collaborator in EU projects into making our own way of producing natural fiber composite materials, licensing it, and now producing at Rauma, Finland, industrial style, or how to find it. Since 2002, we have been collaborating very much all over Europe in European projects, and for 5 people in our company, it has been the key factor why we have been able to develop something as what we have done in the last 10 years. We first stumbled upon natural fiber composites when we started manufacturing carded hemp fiber composite from hemp fibers and plastic fibers. We went on to develop a fire retardant city bus seat frame for Volvo buses, which was in production, I think, up until 2010. We used this knowledge to then try the same material on our new developments. The carded hemp fiber went on to a company called Yes Eco in 2010, and they used our developments and are using it still in acoustic panels. And I think this is sort of a common denominator in whatever Elastopoli is doing. They're very much application driven. So now they have been providing Class A acoustic treatments to all kinds of different areas, from Houses of Parliament to swimming halls, and basically using the natural fiber composite, doing that. Our first assignment came from Joensuu, Finland. A guitar manufacturer called Flaxwood contacted us to make a better neck for a composite guitar. We worked with Aalto University professor Jouni Paltakari and got his permission to use their pilot paper machine, and actually got the permission to mix plastic with cellulose fibers in a paper machine, which is either crazy or visionary. But this is where it all got started. We have been circulating soapstone dust into injection moldable composites, at the moment produced in Oakland, California, DW Drums. They are calling this the concrete snare, which caused a bit of a stir in the market because everybody was thinking, how much does it weigh? We have been developing composites to replace endangered woods with the same technology as the guitar, granite lily being one of them. And we developed a clarinet, which is made from cellulose fiber and plastic, and it's in the market at the moment also. One of the unique things in our material is that it is very precise in the way we manufacture it, and this gives us the unique possibility to actually use it in simulation in injection molding. And this is what the industry is using as a standard when you're injection molding products. Simulation is something that is used from automotive industry or making chairs, what have you. It's a standard product, and we can very accurately say that it works. One of the areas where we have used this is one of our first and biggest references. LG in Korea is using our material in their speaker cabinets in their top line sound bars. And we use simulation to actually get rid of all the minor problems that might occur in injection molding beforehand, even before the first injection molding trial. And the first injection molding trial was the last one. Now it's in production. We can simulate mechanical bending areas, for example, for products in natural fiber composites. It's a bit technical, let's move forward. One of the big things in our technology is that we refine the fibers very fine, or we can do it if we need to. And this gives us the possibility to go into very thin wall products, and even do areas like hinges in this box, which is not very usual for natural fiber composites. We have been very present in Asian market, as probably the LG case would tell you. One of our partners, IKP in South Korea, is a big player in that area, and they have offices in South Korea, in China, and in Vietnam. 2016, we licensed our technology to the production company Aquapol, who is now producing in Rauma, Finland, and they are using the never-dried cellulose directly from Rauma pulp mill, and making composites and making composite master batch for the market, for compounders, and also for injection molders. We have been working with biodegradable materials, and it's one of the things that we continue working on. No applications yet, but there will be. One of the big things, what we did within the project also, is that recycled polypropylene is available. It's very much wanted in the market at the moment. However, it needs some improving in the mechanical strength. And this is what we can use cellulose fiber for. It actually means that we can use it in products that it would not be used otherwise. But we can reinforce it with cellulose fiber rather than reinforcing it with glass fiber. And these are the physical products that we have done with the technology. We can use bio-based plastics, bio-PE for example, reinforce it enough to make it good enough for use in ice cream spoons, for example. Or we can reinforce the recycled PP and make chair components for the ISKU school chair. And one of the goals in these projects was that we actually utilize the waste coming from ISKU factory together with VTT and Portland Circle recycled PP materials. We made the compounds and we made the injection molded products as a demonstrator in this project, and it turned out really well. The other one was the wood dust created by the factory at the ISKU factory. So we have the wood dust chair, which is on the right-hand side from my side, and then the textile waste, which in my understanding are the only two wastes that cannot be used at the moment at the factory. So what does the future hold? We see that there is a market for biodegradable products where it's actually needed. What we see also is that we cannot waste our resources. One of the biggest challenges for us will be to use the materials that have already been used once, several times. Recycling of resources, recycling of materials is important. And of course, there will be new innovations coming up and industrialized. CO2 plastics, methane plastics, many new innovations are coming up in the markets in the future. So, I'll leave you with that.
Questions in the audience? Lindsay, yes.
I'm Helena Invest. I was wondering about these instruments, for example, the clarinet. Will the tone be exactly the same as if you have a wooden clarinet?
Yes. Actually, we have some professional players claiming that it's better. There are some things that actually we can conquer with composite material. For example, it's more immune to humidity. So the tuning of the instrument actually retains better. Same with the guitar also.
Hi, I'm Tiina Vainio-Kala. I'm wondering, once you put the wood fiber in the plastic, that ends the possibility of reusing it?
No.
No.
We can reuse it 7 times easily and do the same grade of products. Whereas when you compare it to glass fiber, you got the glass fibers in the recycling process, it can only be used in secondary products. But with wood fibers, you don't have that problem.
Any other questions? Thank you, Marco.
Thank you.
So that was our Pechakucha stream, and now we are moving into the traditional style, but still very short, concise presentations. And actually, I will be continuing with you, and I will talk about the circular narrative that we developed during the project. There's been a huge hype when it comes to circular product development, which is fantastic. But we also need to take care of branding. How do we actually market those products? How do we attract customers to choose a circular product of a kind of a traditional product that is made according to a take, make, waste linear model? So circular products definitely need circular branding. But what then is a circular narrative tool? it really is something more than just a marketing tool. What we've created is a life cycles tool that, first of all, kind of encourage the company to go beyond kind of an environmentally friendly and also sustainable company, but really going through the whole life cycle of their operations and trying to become a truly sustainable, regenerative, restorative company in the future. So that's kind of one stage that we do before we go into the actual marketing messages. So harnessing the idea of life cycle model, we go through all the operations before kind of nailing down the key messages. This is the life cycle model. It's the kind of very basic one as it stands. On the left-hand side, you can see different types of visions, different levels of visions. We always start from a vision with our customers, because once you know where you want to end up, it is easier to plan those steps to get there. When you know that this is the big goal, this is where we want to aim, then you can surely find a way to get there. So we start from the vision, how we want to worlds to look like, how do we want to further this sector where we are operating, and what is our vision as a company. And then we move on to different stages of this life cycle. So we start from R&D, materials, chemicals, manufacturing, etc., etc. We explore what's currently happening, and we explore what is possible in the future. And only after that, we start going through the life cycle again, through these different aspects, 6 different aspects. So what is the actual fact of the current product? What would be interesting to the end user or customer? What's the feeling that we want to evoke in the consumer? What's the value that the product can provide to them? What's the need that the product can fulfill? And what's our goal that we want to communicate to the consumer? Because when you have positive goals, empowering goals, they are really attractive to the consumer. And then last but not least is the channel. So what different communication channels do we want to use in our communications? So basically this is the structure of the life cycle model and a circular narrative. And as Heidi mentioned earlier, we tested this narrative tool with Lumene and Sulabak. So that was really useful for us, because now it's been kind of iterated and further developed, and now it's ready for the market. So if you want to know more, come and talk to me or my business partner, Paula Fontel. Paula, where are you? Somewhere here?
Yeah.
And learn more about it. And lastly, a few words about Ethica. So we are really on a mission to build a circular future. Thank you. Any questions on the circular narrative tool? No? Let's then move on, and I will invite Janne Keränen of PTT to talk about their role in the project. And you know that there will be some food and drinks at the end. Yes?
Okay, good afternoon from my behalf also. You know that repetition works, so I will go through briefly about these backgrounds also regarding the timeline and different aspects what we've gone through in this project. Jussi already spoke up what this means in English. We have a different translation, but you will now have a better hang of it. And the goal was to aid this forest-based circular economy with a pretty fast timeline if you speak about the research viewpoint. Usually researchers are used to do stuff in timeline that lasts for years, and now we had less than a year time thanks to sort of Sitra to push us forward with a good pace. And for that reason we were able to deliver these kind of demonstration products with the help of the excellent consortium that we had that enabled us to do these fast timelines, also with the fascinating examples that all have different viewpoints for the circular economy, and hopefully they link at some point in a better way as well. We delivered some examples with the tools side, which are also starting from the ways of working and how often we meet and how we meet, regarding also to the how we calculate things, how we market things, how we sort of drive things forward. Each of these demonstrations that we did was done in a 3-month timeline. The participant of the broad consortium is from this Montiseera, Stora Enso, Pattikelasto, Potesulapa, As, Starke, Isku, Lumene, Etika, and Luke and Syke, which is also responsible for organizing a great part of this exhibition. The potential of Finnish side of these wood flows lies mainly on the circular parts, but what we looked at was mainly regarding to utilizing streams that are mainly going towards energy production, which are here on the orange or the red ones. And we have those utilized in another way, which you already saw to some extent. The circular, the repetition works, so the circular narrative tool was used for us with the help of Ethica, which facilitated our thinking in the beginning of the project, which sort of brought us to the starting point to go beyond sustainability. Of course, the companies that were in the project already, they did work that was already their starting point, but we sort of looked at it in a slightly new way. And with the help of this demo that we did sort of even more recyclable packages. So we did recycling of up to 6 times of the same package, which can be done for the Sulapak material, even though it degrades fast, but you can recycle it first many times. So that was the demonstration slide. And then it also makes the collection in a way that is sort of more economically feasible in a way, and also you can meet the consumer also during the collection side. For this Elastopoly and Isku case, that are the chairs there in combination, there was the novel way of utilizing materials from that were considered as waste. And that is something which is quite interesting approach, because to go and recycle all the streams in the companies is not an easy way. And that is something which this pushed forward in a nice way. Then the product design for this Pactic case was, it started from the customer's needs with the consumer survey, which is something quite unique way to start designing a product, and Pactic sort of twisted the mind in that way, in a nice manner, because I sort of haven't seen that done earlier, at least. And to go and meet the consumers first and design the packs as they wanted it to be, so that sort of is a new way to sort of bring in the circularity. Then with this Monti Nutra, which is there not mentioned yet, is a company that utilizes side streams from spruce, from sawmills, and make that extract from there, and you make that as a sort of medical product that, and the extract side stream then also can also be converted as a novel package, for example, that can be seen there as a demonstration package, and even perhaps for future cases as well. So even more side streams can be, and their side streams can be made out of something and take most of the value there as well. And this brings also companies and industries to talk with each other in a new way, at least in my opinion. And we are also making a thesis which is sort of brought out based on the needs from this project, which is something that we didn't find to have that much approaches yet, especially for the small and medium-sized companies, to look at what are the barriers or prerequisites to success. But it will be finalized quite soon. So then you have something to read. And that's the end of it. I hope I didn't go over my time. Questions?
Thank you, Janne. Any questions to Janne?
Thank you. I was just curious, so far you've been mainly working in Finland, I assume. Did you also work in other European countries, or was this
VTT is located in Finland. As a company, we have quite big consortiums built for EU projects, but also projects that are sort of bringing up companies all over the world. And so far, the largest consortium we are working with at the moment is over 30 companies from 5 continents that come and look our sort of new development work. But that is another issue. But anyway, we are mostly in Finland and in Europe. If you speak about that.
Thank you. And then we have our final traditional style presentation by Tarmo Räty of Natural Resources Institute of Finland. And after Tarmo's presentation, we will have a panel discussion. But let's find your presentation first.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I've been working already quite a long time in Natural Resources Institute of Finland, mostly with wood products and with special interest on environmental communication, measurement of environmental impacts, which says that life cycle assessment is one part of my job. And I've been quite interested about I've been especially interested on how to make use of environmental information in decision making. My presentation is from EcoModels, a tool for life cycle inventory creation and eco-design. With eco-design, I mean the way how environmental impact information should be or can be incorporated into the product or production development. Sorry. EcoModels in a nutshell. We are not. First of all, I have to say that we are not going to reinvent any life cycle assessment software, but we really try to create some value added for our original life cycle assessment work that we do daily. So, what were the needs where EcoModels came from? We found that life cycle inventory creation is the data creation, data collection for the life cycle assessment, and model building, putting everything together, putting different processes together, linking those together, is extremely time consuming. But once it is built, it's relatively easy to recreate the inventories and simulate those impacts. The other problem, we found that those inventories are extremely confidential. They are resource usage of a company production amount per year or day, depends on the case. And companies do not want to reveal that information to others, not even their suppliers or their customers. So how to share data? In LCA, after all, we have to combine all those information into one. And if we want to ease that process, how can we keep this confidential? Our platform, we have created some new software, not that much really. We have just, I would like to call that EcoModels is a platform solution. It includes user-specific databases or database management, some tailored applications for modeling or model building, and most of all, we do not leave. We want that the life with the life cycle analyst and the company we are calculating the environmental life cycle assessment. We want that this process will go on for until the product development is finished or moved to the other. E-commerce platform itself is very easy. Down on the bottom line, we have a number of end users. End users can come from any phase of the production, any phase of the supply chain. On the up there we have uppermost we have the database that where we have all those inventory sharing. We have the data storage and the inventory sharing we control. Actually, I'm doing it. I'm controlling the permissions to whom I give the rights to the different inventories for characterizations. Also, the database covers some previous processes as our clients or the product designers. They are not necessarily that interested about all the details of the upstream chain. And in the middle, we have a set of tailored application, each one for the chapter or in a value chain. It's not necessary to have all of those covered, but they up to the limited amount these applications may go to each other. In this project, we created a design model for a composite material. It's for the slab. That's probably why I can reveal. So we have calculated all those environmental impacts for the slab materials and different designs. And we start from the raw materials or this kind of production process that we have. Our model is built on raw materials. There are a number of raw materials the slab can choose from. Those are those raw material inventories. We have process inventories like production of mask batches for the color, and then we have the final production for the composite product for the composite. Here the resource usage also variable. They can choose where the production stages take place and use the electricity profile that applies into the specific program. Then also it's production is not only raw materials and machinery. We also have to consider the waste. Waste are generated over the different phases in production, and we also account for the consumer waste. These consumer waste scenarios are built by Yashin. Second, actually, thank you, Yashin. And then we have to figure out that these production stages, they may take place, or raw materials may locate everywhere in the world, and we have to choose the distances and the transportation vehicles or means. Putting all together, we have the result in environmental impacts for the material. In this figure, we have not drawn the possible recycle chains yet. That will probably the next stage. It would be easy. It would be easier to show you e-commerce in practice, this tailored application. But unfortunately, I hope that you understand that everything we do is confidential. Well, I started from this confidentiality issue. But to say that in our calculator, we have to think about, okay, what is the unit we are calculating for? Now, I'm not talking about functional unit, but okay, what is the amount of? Are we interested on environmental impacts of a jar, or the lid of the jar, or a daily product, or the annual production of the this is the batch size. You can freely choose the batch size. I have pre-parameter size, all those models or full value chains to Slovak, then they can freely adjust those kilometers to be transported, raw materials used, image profiles and events. They're all up to the design. For the impact assessment, we have basically all those environmental impacts are naturally they accumulate from the primary flows up to the final product, and you in the application you can choose 3 different kind of environmental impacts. Here we have chosen land use and global warming potential and water footprint of actually in this case. If you are interested in more, you can choose another 3 by clicking, or if you are interested on all of those 21, you just dump everything as an Excel file. So our e-commerce model service, it's an LCA for design and communication tool targeted for businesses. We try to create added value for the original LCAs that we run. And target is that the designers can easily modify the results, remodel it up to the certain points, and then LCA analyze and such that the designer always has the LCA analysis support available. And model is easily extended. The team that has developed it, we have Merja Saarinen and Kirsi Lusva. If you are interested more in agricultural units, you should probably talk with Merja and Kirsi. If you are interested about the wood or plastics, please stop by me. And if you are interested about prices, talk to you. Thank you.
And if you want to ask more questions about eco-modules, then Panu will be here during food and drinks, right? Yes, great, thank you. Now I would like to invite here, inside the circle with me, ISKU, Finnish Environment Institute, Monti Nutra, Lumene, and Lahti University of Applied Sciences. And then also Heidi, who is representing Stora Enso and Starke. So welcome, let's welcome them all. This is a very brief panel discussion, and what I've asked all the panelists to do is to answer 3 questions. So first, name and organization. Second, what is the development project and product that they've done in this project? And third, which is obviously the most important thing, is that what happens next and why the world should be interested in this. So I will just get another mic from there. And since we already have it, should we see? Yeah. Should we start from you?
Okay, Petri Malminen, representing Monti Nutra here. We have developed a compound from spruce sawdust and actually applications field where the value of our products can be 10, 100, 1,000 or even 10,000 times more valuable than pulp. So what was the next question? What happens next? So we aim to build a plant in Finland. We have 2 million kind of gathered already, and we still need 1 more million. This will be the next unicorn of Finland, this exercise that we do. So spruce sawdust, the value is so much higher with our process than it raises the question that should we stop actually doing timber, because the sawdust becomes more valuable than the wood products that are made there. So from the side stream. And as mentioned earlier, our side stream actually could be a raw material for slag. Next person, I guess.
Hello, Heidi Koljonen again. Yes, unfortunately Stora and Startek will not join, so I promised to say a few words on their behalf of this in this part as well. So they have been the partners working together in this project and developing the intelligent packaging side. So the kind of technology that is being used is NFC. Stora Enso is also experts in different other RFID, for example, that gives them different possibilities to track the movement of goods. But yeah, so using their technology and then with Starke, of course, they are experts in decorations and labeling and brand protection. So kind of combining that as a tool then to be able to tell the brand, tell the consumers the story and tell more information about the product and the properties. So that has been something has been the work in this pilot.
Hi, Jaakko Nyman. I represent the Finnish Environment Institute, SUKE. I work as a researcher in LCA there. Our role in the project was to look into end-of-life scenarios of bio-based composite materials, and that has been quite a journey. We have not only looked at Finland, but also on some other potential markets for presented products, and maybe one of the discoveries that we have done was that although Europe is quite a small market globally, it's not very big geographically. The different markets in European Union have, and also of course globally, have different waste regulations, different waste managements in place. So from the point of view of packaging, in this case the packaging producer, but also any other producer of a novel material that has certain properties that make it possible for it to be disposed in a better way or recycled in a better way, it's not that straightforward because you have to consider every single market individually. So that's been something that we are doing. Additionally to that, of course, the LC part. What's next? Perhaps that's more outside of the scope of this project, but in SUKE we are working on transforming or helping to transform the value chain of waste management in Finland. We are working together with municipalities and with regions in creating and implementing circular economy roadmaps. So that's kind of a bigger goal that we are working on, and this has helped us also to understand more of the technical aspect of the new promising bio-based materials.
My name is Kari Soljamo. I'm a development manager at ISKU. ISKU is a furniture producer, and we are selling and producing furniture in Finland. So ISKU is located in Lahti, 100 kilometers north from here. To get an idea of the size of our factory, we have roughly 100,000 square meter production area, and the turnover was last year 180 million. We are operating in 15 countries. Okay, our project was we are sorting all our waste in production, over 99%. We don't have any mixed containers, and we are shipping leather waste, metal components, and plastic waste, and foams to material recycling. We have two problematic waste. One is textile waste from production and wood dust. There are a lot of wood dust from production. And the idea here was that we have 10 years in the wood plastic composites and to use these problematic raw materials as a raw material for composite material. And we combine these materials to recycled post-consumer polypropylene from forestry. And how the chain was done, so first the remixing or recompounding was happened with the VTT, and Elastopoly processed further the material. Kokartek, our component supplier, made the injection molding, and here they are. And what we did, we combined three problematic waste to the valuable product 100% recycled, and it can be recycled also further several times. What next? We are continuing with elastic poly and photo for developing material, and we are making VTT to make commercial of this Wodix compounding system. And in the future, even problematic waste can be a source for a valuable product.
Hello everyone, my name is Essi Alola and I'm working as head of R&D for packaging at Lumene. And Lumene is a Finnish company specializing in skincare products and color cosmetics. Our company is based in Espoo, in Kauklahti, where we are designing all of our products and also manufacturing most of our products there. And this project, the Citra project, started as a packaging project for us, but I think for the Lumene team, the biggest thing that we got out of it was that we got the kind of the theoretical circular narrative building blocks that we can put to all of the whole organization in every function. Lumene has been working with side streams from food industry and forest industry for decades, but now we also started to think the circular narrative in a wider perspective. So that was really eyes-opening for us. We will continue now working with Sulapac, developing the fully biodegradable cosmetics packaging for water-containing product. So it's a very challenging project, and we'll continue that. Also during this year, this and next year, we'll come out with launches where we are really improving the sustainability of our packaging. We are having recycled packs or recycled materials used in our bags. We are improving the recyclability of our packaging. So really working on the whole chain of our packaging and in every team in our company. We are a small brand globally, but we think that by improving our sustainability, we can make a change, and we can also teach a lot to our consumers how to work go to a more sustainable way. It's been really interesting.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Petteri Venetyki, and I'm a lecturer of strategic and industrial design in the University of Applied Sciences of Lahti. And we have been participating in this project by doing lots of student works and concepts and studies and researches. And when we started, we discovered that, okay, now let's find the bottlenecks and think what is the main problem. And one of the things that crossed our mind, that problem is that there is so fine and high technology done in Finland, and it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like high technology. It maybe look like a pile of what are those pallets. If we take a look at we see pictures how they are decorated. This is not something like that you should think about recycling as that's something that's really difficult or secondary. This is really high tech, and you need to be proud of it. And that's why we decided to set our goals in high and try to make a nice brand for the whole project. Try to bring some fancy stuff there, and try to think about that, how these products and materials should look in the future. What kind of properties they should have, and that's why we have done these concepts, what we have done here. Another thing is that it's what we are going to do in the future is, of course, that if you are trying to sell your material and you are marketing, you have to meet lots of people and persuade that your material is good. But if you teach the designers, the future designers, in the beginning, that they will know, they get the touch of the materials and they can see the soul of the material. They will be selling the new ideas and the new materials for the future consumers. And I think that's the role for us as teachers, to teach those young designers and show them and make them understand about the possibilities about materials. And I think they are ethically, they are already aware that what the world needs, but they need to know about the possibilities. That's we are pushing forward.
Show the example.
Yeah.
If you can show it.
Yeah, you can show it.
So this group of students have developed a box for xylitol. So it's not xylitol, but xylitol, and it's a medical treatment for lower urinary tract disease, kind of P problem for elderly men who's prostrate. What's it called? Prostrate disease.
Yeah, prostrate.
So really kind of fancy and fancy, but kind of something that our professionals could have not been doing. And I agree with you. Perception is reality. So this product will be 100,000 times more valuable than pulp that will be in these boxes one day soon.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And it's very inspiring to think about this kind of concept and make examples that how would we do it. And actually there is, even in this project, there is a customer research there. And what was the target customer group?
Elderly and middle-aged men.
Yeah, elderly and middle-aged men globally. So you can, every elder or middle-aged man like me can go and evaluate it.
Yeah, 50% of men of age 50 years old, I'm 50, a bit over, have this expanded organ there. So, we have the customer base is 1 billion male in the world.
Thanks. Do you have any other question?
No, but do you? If not, I thank all the panelists. Let's give them a big hand. And now it's time for food, drinks and networking. And please make sure that you talk to all of these and also the field companies that were not represented here but have their exhibition. So stay with us, talk to each other and make sure that you learn more about these innovative bioproducts.